Welcome to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds of sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. I am really glad you're here on this Monday evening. Thanks for joining me for live stream number 236, April 27th, 2026. Good to see you. Well, if you're new to the channel, welcome. What we do here on Monday nights is we talk about things that we do here on the channel, which is tractors, compact tractors, attachments, some DIY projects, work around the property, just generally life in the country. So if you are here for the first time, welcome, and please say hi in the live chat because this is an interactive live stream. We are streaming to Facebook and YouTube, so you may be watching from either one of those platforms. So please say hi in the comments, and also let me know how you found the channel. Was it YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok? We meet here almost every Monday night, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we chat. Sometimes me, sometimes a guest, but again, this is about you and me and the live chat. So if you have a question or a comment, be sure to use that live chat feature, and if you have a question, post it with the word question followed by your question, and then we can hopefully answer your question about the channel or anything else going on. And then before we wrap up tonight, we will do the sticker giveaway. Something everybody seems to look forward to, don't you think? Well, indeed. Welcome all. Let's see who's in the comments and what's going on here, what folks are saying. I see Hunter, first one here. Welcome, Hunter. And let me scroll back here some too. Further two. Hunter, Chris, good to see you. Bob Pers, another Chris. Chris, our moderator, who couldn't join us, I think, last week. Good to see you, Chris. I don't know if Chris, have you put out a latest video with the wood chipper? I know you said you'd been using it a lot, and I don't know if I missed a video or not. I better check, but hopefully you have. I still been talking about chipping wood out here, but haven't gotten to it. The weather has been not too nice. It's been rainy. It's been actually cold. Things are changing slowly, but I need to get out there. And I have been extremely busy aside from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And that's because last year, I accepted a part-time seasonal job, a little supplemental income, so to speak. And part-time is one thing, seasonal is another thing, and basically I won't work for several months, and then like last week I was working 12-hour days, 8 to 12-hour days. I think I went on a 8-day solid streak of working, which is difficult to get other things done when you're, leaving at 6:30 in the morning and getting home at 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the evening. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying you haven't seen much from me because I've been otherwise preoccupied with other commitments. So that's what's going on with me. But today was pretty sunny. I was sad to not be home and able to do some things today, but it's all right. Spring is we're still in spring, and things are looking up. for sure. So, what else is going on here? I'm taking a look at some comments here. Chris found me on YouTube and in Williamsburg, Virginia, and also in southern New Jersey. You can find me everywhere. John Ritter, thanks for being here. We are really glad you're here, for sure. Are you watching from your truck, John? Are you at dance class with the girls? Or did you actually get a night off? Okay, no new videos from Chris. All right, well, that explains a lot why I haven't seen it. Yeah, it would be nice to retire from, well, not everything. I like doing this, and that's why we're focused on trying to do this, to make this primary. But yeah, the seasonal job, it's not easy. It's a lot. Otherwise, I'll check out some more comments here. Hey, Al, good to see you. See some local folks on here. That's always fun to see. I've got, I haven't even run the tractor too much. I still have the stump grinder on the back from when I used that at Tom's house. And of course, I used it here, not of course, but I used it here several times, but I didn't record anything with that. I just had some trees that I cut down behind the barn because we're still clearing behind the barn. So I used the stump grinder on that. I've got an auger now. You may have seen it on Facebook, a sneak peek picture of it. I've got a auger that fits onto the Baumolite stand-on mini skid steer. Now I have one for the back of the tractor, and they're great. The problem with an auger on the back of a tractor is that your 3-point hitch has no downward pressure. So you're counting on the weight of that auger to drive it into the ground, and you can hit a root or something and that thing can just stop and spin. The Baumolite has downward pressure. I've dug a few holes as test holes. It's pretty amazing. It spins pretty slow, but it sinks right into the ground. You can go 3-4 feet into the ground, and again, if you hit a root or something, you've got downward pressure, so you can just push it in. Very nice. Very nice. Retired Forester, you're not too late. Don't worry about it. You're not missing anything. Welcome here. Wow. Well, that's great, John. You got a night off, and hello to your family watching in the living room. It's a rainy day in Minnesota. Yeah, it's been rainy here a lot. Hey, Linda. Good to see you. Linda and Ed, I should say, because I know you're watching together. So, yeah, all right. I'm going to flex a little bit here because folks are mentioning the big award, and if you don't follow on Facebook, you wouldn't have seen it. But I did share on Facebook that I entered a film festival, and for those of you who don't know, I have a background in video production. It's something I started as a hobby and officially started a video production business in 1990, 36 years ago, and have always just had my hand in video production. Even though I've taken other jobs and done other type of work, I've never not done video production since 1990. It's always been part of my life. It was a full-time business from 1990 until basically 2005. So yeah, full time. And this was back in the 90s when people would come to you with a VHS tape and they'll say, "Can you make a copy of this tape?" And that was a business. And I had a whole rack of VHS machines set up, and I would take a VHS tape and we'd duplicate 10 at a time. Companies would hire me to do that because they would make a promotional video or a training video, and then they needed 100 copies for their employees. So we'd make hundreds and hundreds of copies of VHS tapes. It was a whole different industry back then. Basically, things that have no need for today. You still take those tapes and you could convert them to digital files, which is the thing to do now. But I don't do that anymore. I'm not set up to do that. But anyway, it was a big it was a big part of my life, basically. So anyway, that really was what helped me launch the channel here, because I had the background in video production and thought I can do this, and now I have an outlet to upload content. Point is, I still do professional video work on occasion. I don't really solicit it, because what I'm doing here with the channel and the property takes a lot of time, so I don't really push it too much. But I take on a few jobs, and I enjoy it. So you remember the Gallant Heart video? I showed it to you guys last year or so when I produced it for Gallant Heart, which is a veteran-run organization. And what they do is they bring veterans together, veterans who they carry a shared burden when they come back to civilian life many times, and it could be in a physical health, mental health, emotional health. Folks struggle, and Gallant Heart gets them together, gets them outdoors for outdoor activities, and helps them build relationships, helps them feel seen, helps them feel heard, and as I say, ultimately, arguably, saves lives. It's a great organization. So I made a video for them, a short little 3-4 minute video, and I entered it into the first local film festival that we had. And I'm happy to say, and you know, like I said, got to flex here a little bit. There were 360 entries in this film festival. My film was narrowed down to the finalists, top 12 finalists, and I was called up to receive the award for Best Editing. So that was really an honor. And then I sat down, and then they announced Best Cinematography. Lo and behold, I had to go back up again twice. It's kind of embarrassing, but also exciting at the same time. So kudos to the festival for the great job that they did. And I am, as I said in my post, I'm humbled and honored. And I probably should have had that video queued up to show you that. But if you go to gallantheartnj.com, no, .org. It's an organization, nonprofit organization. gallantheartnj.org. Come on, Chris. Put it up there in the live chat. I know you'll do it. Gallant Heart NJ. Check out their website. Scroll down about, just a little bit, and then you'll see the video and you can hit play. But wait until after the live stream, because we're talking here. That would be rude, wouldn't it? But anyway, it was really fun. It was really fun to do that, and it kind of inspired me that maybe I do want to do more of that kind of work, because it was fun and it felt good. So thank you for those of you who did see the announcement on Facebook. Thank you for your support and your compliments and all that good stuff. So good deal. Hey, you see that little silver award back there? I entered that same film in the Communicator Awards and did win a Communicator Award for it last year. But this one feels more special to me, because the Communicator Award, first of all, you have to pay to enter. And that's like, you know what? Am I paying? Like, do I have a better chance of winning because I paid to enter? Thank you, Chris. I don't know. I paid to enter, but I have entered in the past and not gotten anything. I got a paper certificate once. So I guess there is something to it, but it didn't feel as good because I had to pay to enter. And then I won. I won this silver. Now you can get the gold, but I didn't win the gold, and I won the silver. I forget what it stands for, but I got the silver award. But then you've got to buy the award. You pay to enter, and then you pay like $200 for the trophy. And I did it because, I did win it after all, and it is kind of a cool thing. But this one, I had never been involved with a film festival before. This one was fully legitimate. I entered the film. It didn't cost anything to enter it. And the judges, I don't know who any of the judges were. They don't know me. Again, there were 360 entries. So this one felt really legit to me. So it's very special. And it was in our hometown. And that really, well, our hometown county, it really felt special. So I'm so touched. So touched. So thanks again, Chris, for posting that. You guys can click on that link, but save it until after we're done here and then watch it. And also, if you're looking to support a nonprofit, Gallant Heart is a great nonprofit to support. So, if you've got, we all have our passions, and a lot of times we just we feel the need to give to an organization. So if you're looking for something to support, I would recommend Gallant Heart or Habitat for Humanity, because I'm also involved with that as well. But that's about that. We've talked about this Slate truck. Have you been following this thing? This is it's an electric vehicle that is due now to come out, I believe, in 2026. I think they're on track. They built a plant in Indiana, and they are developing this electric truck. And I would like to have one. It reminds me of the Ranger because it's a base truck. It's got roll-up windows. It's like so basic. It was going to come in under $20,000 because of the electric vehicle incentives that were being offered, but the government has taken those away, and now there are no more EV incentives. That was like $7,500. So now the truck is probably going to be priced up $25,000, $27,000. That's difficult because it's a stripped down vehicle, and you're getting up to the price point where you could buy. I also like the Ford Maverick as a beat around truck, and you could buy used, maybe even a new Ford Maverick. It wouldn't be fully electric, obviously, but it's tough call. But since we have solar, I like the idea of getting an electric vehicle to run around with. If we're traveling somewhere, most of the time you travel less than 50 miles, definitely less than 100 miles, and these electric vehicles can go 150, 200 or more. So I think as a runaround vehicle, electric makes a lot of sense. It's not something we would take on a long trip because, again, it's a base truck, but it would basically replace the Ranger, which is our beat-around truck. And to be able to do that without purchasing gas, that Ranger, I just filled it up today, and it wasn't even empty. And I don't know if it took 20 gallons, whatever. I could do the math, but it costs like $60 to fill it up. And that's just the little Ranger. So it would be fun to just plug the truck in and not pay for gas. Again, we've got the solar, we've got the electric here for it. It would be great. Indeed. Let me look at some comments here. Yep, Phil Peterson looking at the Honda Ridgeline. I like that one too. Sister Linda's got the Hyundai Santa Fe, or is it the Santa Cruz? Santa Cruz is the little truckster type vehicle. It's nice. It's really nice. Super handy. So, Michigan Off-Road Adventures. We only have electric cars and haven't looked back. Yeah, I think the only time that electric vehicles are potentially problematic would be if you want to take a long trip, because it takes 5 minutes to fill your gas tank. What's it take? 20, 30 minutes to get enough charge to keep going on your electric car? You can make it work. I'm sure you can. We all need to stop when we're traveling. So if you can make it work where you stop and eat and charge up while you're eating, I think you could get away with it. But for the most part, again, what we do in our area is less than 50, 60 miles when we go to, if I have to go to a big box store. I try to shop locally for hardware and wood and stuff, but I do go to Lowe's and Home Depot too. That's like a 30-mile. What is that? They're probably 30 miles. So that's 60-mile round trip. I could use it for that. It would be great. So, uh, yeah, I think it would be great. Especially, I've read before, like if you're looking to buy an electric vehicle to save money, don't buy it if you don't need it. Basically, like what you're going to pay for it takes a lot to make up. I can't really explain that. Point is, if the Ranger dies and we need to buy a vehicle, then it makes sense to buy an electric vehicle. I wouldn't sell my F-150 to buy an electric vehicle because I've got the F-150 already and I'd lose money by selling it. It's all a mathematical equation. So, oh, look at that. We rent cars for trips. Brilliant. Brilliant. There's always a way, right? Chris's son bought a Maverick Lariat. Ooh, fancy. Mr. Fancy Pants with the Lariat model. Very nice. Gas model, loves it. Had my doubts, but he's convinced me. Yeah, they're neat. They were supposed to be a low-priced truck, but those prices have gone up and up on the Mavericks, and it's disappointing. You see a ton of them on the road, but they were supposed to be a small, inexpensive truck. But like anything else, it's creeped up. Now, Linda and Ed, sister and brother-in-law, they had a Maverick hybrid and had problems with it. With the battery kept dying on the hybrid, and 3 strikes and you're out. Lemon Law in New Jersey, they had it for a year. Ford bought it back from them, and they got all their money back. But it put a sour taste in your mouth. When you can't depend on your vehicle, especially a new vehicle, that's tough. I don't think, personally, I'm not really a fan of hybrids. I feel like I want it to be either or. Like, give me a full-blown gas model or give me a full-blown electric. I don't know about the hybrids. Just seems like a lot more moving parts and stuff with that. But that's just me. I don't know. Yep. But anyway, this was not intended to turn into an EV conversation, although it's kind of fun to talk about. Here I go. I'm still talking. Yeah, I get it, Chris. You'd rather have a hybrid, because the thing about a hybrid is you don't have to worry about the battery. Is that you can run out of battery and then you can run on fuel. So I get the hybrid thing, but I don't know. I just feel like, what I would like? I would like it if America would use diesel engines, because over in Europe, they all have these diesel cars. They still have manual transmissions even. But diesels, I don't know why they don't take off here. I don't know if it's because of us, the consumers, or if the government is somehow suppressing it. Because remember Volkswagen? Our daughter had a Volkswagen car, a couple of them, that got like 50 miles per gallon with the diesel car. Now, there was Dieselgate, which they lied about the emissions, and that kind of squashed diesels for them. I don't even know if they make any diesels anymore, but Volkswagen diesels were very popular. It's a shame that they lied about it and got caught. Well, it's not a shame they got caught. It's a shame they lied about it. Maybe they wouldn't have gotten the efficiency out of that engine if they had to tune it for the right emissions. They wouldn't have gotten the mileage out of it. At any rate, why not just have diesels that get 50 miles per gallon? Maybe it's pollution, all that stuff too. I don't know, but I would like a little diesel. And I remember Jeep came out with the Jeep Liberty diesel, and that didn't take off either. I don't know why. I never saw one. I never drove one. But the Jeep Liberty several years ago had a common rail diesel engine. And it just, I don't know. You know what I think it is? Here's what I think it is. I think it is bad press. I think that's what it comes down to. Remember in the 70s and 80s, GM came out with a diesel. They were putting them in Oldsmobiles, pickup trucks, everything. And what GM had done, the engineers had taken a standard like 350 cubic inch gas engine and they converted it to a diesel, and it was not really engineered for that, and it kept blowing seals and whatever else happened to it, but it was not heavy duty enough, and those diesels were riddled with problems. And I think that bad press probably added to people saying, I don't think I want a diesel because of that. Not only that, people think of them as being dirty, uh, they think of them as being noisy. So I think it's been bad press. Yep. But yet we look at all of our equipment, look at our even smallest compact, subcompact tractors, diesels. And then also in the bigger truck, people buy a 3/4 ton truck, 1 ton truck, they want the diesel engine because it's going to give more torque, more pulling power. Sounds cool. And better fuel mileage in a truck. Where, you buy a 3/4 ton pickup truck, I don't know, you might get 15 miles per gallon these days with those things. Buy a diesel, you might get 20. So, but you'll pay more for the diesel. So it's all balanced. But I think a lot of it for pulling is the torque and whatnot. All right. Yeah, the cost, Chris, you're right. The cost, like if you're buying a new truck, say you're buying a new 3/4 ton, 1 ton, 2,500 truck, and the added expense of a diesel is so much more that when you think about if you're doing it for fuel savings, you're not going to make your money back. You think about if a diesel costs, I don't know, $6,000 more, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's more than that. Let's say $6,000 more for the diesel. That's a lot of gas you could buy to make up for that. So it's got to be the pulling power. Yeah, diesel takes less processing, yet it costs higher. I don't get that. That's what I always think too, is diesel is not as refined as gasoline, but yet it costs like $1 a gallon more. Don't get it. And yeah, propane fueled vehicles, that never really took off either, but gosh, we've had propane forklifts for years that run well, and I worked in a manufacturing plant in the 1980s, and we had a battery operated forklift. So you think about electric technology, that was 40 years ago. 40 years ago when I was working in that plant with electric forklifts. And of course, we had electric golf carts. So the technology is now coming into cars and getting better and better all the time. Yes, I have had a few jobs. I feel like I'm the epitome of the jack of all trades, master of none, because I have done jobs where I get my hands dirty. I've done administrative jobs. I've done creative jobs, and I feel like I don't necessarily specialize in anything other than being able to do a lot of different things. So, yeah, I right out of high school, I worked in this machine shop. It was a production machine shop, and that was my job right out of high school for 5 years, and it was horrible. I mean, I took machine trades in high school, and I love fabricating things and creating things and making things. This was just a production shop, but it was horrible, and I was so young I didn't know that wasn't supposed to be how it was. It was the heaters were broken in the shop. There was no air conditioning, of course. Heaters were broken, so it was always cold in there in the wintertime. There was a giant air compressor that ran all day long in the back. Nobody wore hearing protection or anything. Just a terrible rattle in this big building all day long. And it was dirty. The roof leaked. I was working on a computerized milling machine. And it was, I think, 440 volt, three phase, obviously. I think it was 440 volt or 600 volt machine. And when it rained, it would leak on the machine. And they would have us get these big rolls of plastic tarp, and we'd make a tent over the machine so that when it rained, it would shed off the machine, and we kept working. Like, I wouldn't put up with that today probably for a day. But I stayed with it for 5 years because I didn't think you were allowed to quit a job. That was nobody ever told me that, but that's just sort of how I felt. Is you can't quit a job, like, unless you have something else. You always have to be working. But it was a good experience. Hey, no, I have not planted the cosmos and zinnias yet. I'm now a little behind because I had it on my calendar to till on April 24th, which was Saturday, but I worked on Saturday, and the weather has been horrible. So I'm a little behind, but I'm going to till toward the end of this week or this weekend, and I'm going to get those cosmos and zinnias sown in. It's okay. There's still time for that, but I'm glad you got yours in on Sunday. We actually had spring bloomed pretty early this year, and we have a tree, an oak tree that I planted from a sapling. I've been growing it now. It's 5-6 feet tall, and so I'm very careful taking care of this tree. And so this year I noticed, because I take a picture of it every April. Last April, like on the 17th, it had these little tiny oak leaves popping out. Same time this year, the leaves were 2-3 times as big, so they came out early. Then last week we had this surprise freeze. It was sub-freezing temperature, like in the 20s at night. And that tree, the leaves, when you put lettuce, if your lettuce freezes in the refrigerator, how it gets all wilted, that's what happened to the leaves. And I think the tree's going to be okay. In fact, I can show you a picture of it. But it looked bad. It looks bad now. But the good thing is, after that freeze, the leaves hadn't fully come out yet, so they were still coming out. So they look kind of okay. But you can see here if you look closely, you can see the brown on the leaves, and that's where the leaves got wilted. Basically, again, like if you were to put the leaves, your lettuce, in the freezer, that's what it would look like. But you can see the top part has come out further since that time, and we've got new green. So hopefully that new growth there is going to be enough to save the tree. So yeah, I've got this tree. I've got a fence around the tree to keep the sheep and the deer from eating it. I'm just babying it because it's a very special tree. It came from a sapling from the great Salem oak, which was like 500-600 years old, and it finally fell over and died. And this is a sapling from that tree, so it's a very historical tree. So thanks Don for the reminder for the thumbs up. Yep, if you hit that thumbs up, I'd appreciate it very much. So what else is going on? What can I do for you? What can I tell you? Danny's got the garden ready. Yeah, that's great too. Yeah, factory work is awful indeed, and certainly was in the 80s, for sure. Yeah, there was OSHA back then, but I don't know. Nobody called them. I was just out of high school. I graduated high school here's like I feel like I didn't get to be a kid. I graduated high school, and the very next day after graduation, I was clocking in at 7 a.m. at this job. Didn't even take a day off after graduation. Um, I had been working while I was in high school part time for this company, making $4 an hour, which was above minimum wage. Back then, I think it was $3.35 an hour in New Jersey. $3.35 an hour. I'm a kid in high school making $4 an hour. I'm living large. Graduated high school, and the very next day, I went to work, became a full-time employee that day, working 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. My pay went from $4 an hour to $8.79 an hour. Like, I was over the moon. Like, how can a kid who just graduated high school be making this much money? And that was pretty cool. What I should have done is been more aggressive in saying, all right, I can do this. Maybe I can find another company and do better. But I didn't know. So, hey, Chris, for the beater truck fund, is that for the slate? Our first slate fund? That's good. I actually put a $50 deposit on to reserve it, and you get that money back. So I just thought I got nothing to lose doing that. That's very kind, very generous. I appreciate that. Bob was working full-time through high school. Guess what, Bob? I'm not going to one-up you here, Bob, but this is what I was doing. And I'm not a workaholic, but my first real job, like where I was on the payroll, was at a local Chevrolet dealer, and I was working that job. After school, I'd go and sweep the shop floor, clean the bathrooms, dust off the new cars, and they called me Eddie Cleanup. So I was doing that, but then I was also doing the machine trades job. I was working both jobs at the same time. And then when I graduated, I said I need to quit the car dealership. But yeah, crazy, right? And I had nothing to show for it other than a brand new pickup truck in 1987. But what a waste of money that was. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. Got to live a little, right? So I do remember, though, at the time when after I had graduated and I was working, I was living at home with my mom, and she had a master's degree, and she worked in government, so you don't make as much money in the government. But I remember her saying, I can't believe you're making as much as I'm making. And she said, I've got a master's degree, and you're just a kid out of high school. And she was happy for me, but what was I making? $25,000 a year? And I think she was too. So how fun. That's right, Hunter. You are turning 19 next week, May 4th. How about that? What day is that? Let's take a look here. It's next Monday. Hunter. My gosh. We need to have a Hunter celebration next Monday. Everybody make sure you come back next Monday and wish Hunter a happy birthday. That's if you'll be here, Hunter. You know, you might be busy with birthday stuff. Who knows? Yep, Bob was on the fire department, working at the Department of Public Works all through high school. Yep, that's a lot of work. And yeah. Now you were on the fire department. It's volunteer here. It might have been volunteer there too, but or it could have been paid. But a lot of these volunteer firefighters, that's like a real job for them. It's a lot of work. Look at that. Don was able to buy a brand new Cutlass Supreme in 1977. You're only 17. How about that? Can you imagine a 17-year-old buying a new car today? And not just a cheapo car, Cutlass Supreme. They were nice cars. Oh, look at you. You worked so hard, Bob, and then you retired at 55. That is awesome. That's very awesome. All right. And Bob turned 62 on May 2nd. Coming up. Happy birthday, Bob. Come on, John. That's not old. That's only 4 years older than me, so that's not very old. Just because you're a young buckaroo, John. Yeah, right? Chris, that's just a kid. It is young. It really is. So, all right. Just see what else we have here going on. Really appreciate you all being here. I do. I mentioned this before that I'm trying to get a guest on here to talk about a product that they're developing. So that might be able to do that next week. So we'll see. So stay tuned for that. Oh, look at that. The top of the line was $6,600. Now, that was a 77. And 10 years later, 1987, I bought my GMC Sierra Classic pickup truck. And I bought every option that you could get with that truck. 1987 was the Sierra Classic package, which is the top of the line pickup truck at the time. 4-wheel drive. They started putting 350 V8s back in them, the 5.7 liters. Before that, they had dropped down to 305s only, so 350s became available. Half-ton 350 V8. First year for fuel injection. 86s still had carburetors. 1987, they came out with fuel injection. So fuel injection, velour seats, carpet, power windows and power door locks, AM/FM radio with cassette and cruise control, sliding rear window, manual sliding rear window. I think those were all the options you could get with it, other than the nice wheel package, which I had to, two-tone paint. That truck was $15,000, so more than twice the price of your Cutlass. And I bought that when I might have been 18 at that time. Oh, well, I could do the math. I was 19. Okay. 19 years old. So that's not too bad either, I guess. Buying top of the line. I don't know what that would be like today. So, wait a minute. We can ask. Hey Siri, ask ChatGPT what the equivalent of $15,000 in 1987 would be today. This will be fun.
Adjusting for inflation, $15,000 in 1987 is approximately equivalent to $43,602.07 in 2026, reflecting a cumulative price increase of about 190.68% over 39 years. This means that today's prices are nearly 3 times higher than they were in 1987. That was from Chat.
Okay. So what she said, $43,000. Now, top of the line pickup truck today is like $80,000. So you buy a $43,000 truck today, that's kind of more along a base truck. So what does that say? I guess it says something about where the dollar is. But also minimum wage in 87 was $3.35 an hour. Minimum wage today in New Jersey is $16 an hour. So that's like 5 times higher. So maybe it's all kind of relative. This is something for a math person and a statistics person to figure out. But anyway, so it would be, if you're taking dollars from 1987, I was 19 years old, it would be like a 19-year-old today buying a $43,000 vehicle. Does that seem like a reasonable thing? I mean, it seems hard for anybody to buy a $43,000 vehicle now. Don't know. I'm looking at a question from Outdoor Adventure. Thanks for asking this question. When hauling a compact tractor, the Coyote CX2510, and I'll take off the loader and implement, which weighs about 2,300 pounds, will using heavy-duty straps instead of chains be sufficient? I'm not qualified to answer that question. I've heard that you should use chains instead of straps because straps can tear, I guess. But I mean, I hauled my tractor many times with straps. Here's what I will say, because I learned this by being beat up in the comments on my videos, and that's okay. I had used straps. I think it's fine to use straps, but it's important, from what I've heard and been told, is that you should have 4 points of contact. I was taking the strap and I'd run it over my 3-point hitch to the trailer to 2 hooks. Ideally, you want to have one strap on each corner of the tractor. So 4 straps, 4 corners, 4 points of contact. I got to say, I think that'd be just fine if you're using 2-inch thick nylon straps and you ratchet them down. That, I think, will be just fine. I don't know. Are you taking your loader and your implements off just to make it lighter? Because I don't see why you'd have to do that. You can leave the loader on and the implements on. But I guess it depends on the size of your trailer and all that stuff too. But others will comment on that for you. But, my opinion only is that would be okay. But I would try to work on 4 points of contact. That's what I would do. But don't hold it against me if I'm wrong. Hey, Chris, funny you say that. Your first new vehicle was a 1987 Toyota 4-wheel drive pickup truck, $10,500. I was looking at Toyotas at the same time I was looking at the GMC. I loved those Toyota trucks. And I just, at the time, thought I wanted something that I knew could pull a trailer, because I was into scrap metal and junking cars and stuff too then. And I just thought I'd be disappointed with getting a smaller truck at that time. I wanted a full-size truck. But I remember looking at those Toyotas, and they were really nice. I do think I made the right decision, because I think that a lot of those Toyotas rusted out pretty quickly, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe yours was okay. Anyway, they were cool. I did like them a lot. And that's a good savings. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, John, that vehicles are liabilities and they don't hold their value. Although used vehicles, I guess it's because of inflation, but it used to be that used vehicles lost a lot of their value. But I think because of inflation, used vehicles kind of maintain their value. My 2014 that got smashed, Silverado, I paid $25,000 for that. I had it for, what did we have it for? 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many years it was. Several years. And totaled it, and its value was $25,000. So I kind of got my money back for it. So my F-150 was $43,000, which is ridiculous. But again, that truck new is probably $70,000. So I might still be able to get $40,000 for it today. I don't get it. I don't know how this stuff works. It's all just kind of crazy. But I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll tell you. Whoops. Let's do a sticker giveaway. Here they are. And the way this works is I'm going to put a word or a phrase on the screen. You're going to type it in the live chat on Facebook or YouTube only during the live stream. I'll pick a winner. randomly, and then we'll send you some stickers. It's just that easy. So in the live chat of Facebook and YouTube during the live stream only, type in the word #award, since we were talking about awards earlier. #award. And we'll draw when this music ends. Just let that music play for a little while longer. Okay. There you go, Hunter. Award. Chris, that's funny. Major award. Like on Christmas Vacation. Gravel driveway repair. Very nice. #award. Mikey, that's how you do it. You see folks entering funny words because they've already won and they're choosing not to enter again. I love these peeps too. All good folks, and you really make me feel good coming here Monday nights, and I appreciate the support of you watching the channel and being here for me and for each other. All right, this is going to end shortly, and we're going to draw the winner. 25 entries. Very nice. We got a good number of people watching, too, tonight. Lone Wolf Firearms, congratulations to you for winning tonight's sticker giveaway. Congratulations, Lone Wolf. I need you to send me an email so I know where to send these stickers. So here's the deal. Here's my email. Shoot me an email with your name and your mailing address to contact mcgtv@gmail.com. I'll leave it here on the screen for just a moment longer. You can always go back and play the tape back if you want to read it to yourself, but it's contact mcgtv@gmail.com. Send me your name and your postal mailing address, and we'll get these stickers off to you. Congratulations, Lone Wolf Firearms. Very nice. How fun is that? All right, Don, take care. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Look forward to seeing you in Kentucky sometime. All right. Hey, well, we're starting off our week together, and I really enjoy that. I hope you have a great week. I hope that everything is good in your world. Hunter, have a great birthday week coming up to your birthday, as well as Bob Purrs this week. Happy birthday to you. Let's try and get back here next week. Until then, have a great week. Thanks for being here. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.